Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's talk about your most important operational documents. Are they, well, a bit of a challenge to manage? In this explainer, we're going to show you how Safely's digital document management can turn that whole headache into a really powerful asset. So yeah, let's just dive right in.
All right, first up, let me ask you something. If you had to find a super important procedure like right this second, where would you even start looking? Are you digging through a messy shared drive, searching for an old email attachment, or is it in a dusty binder on a shelf somewhere? That kind of chaos is way more common than you'd think. And this slide, it just lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you've got the usual mess, all those scattered systems we're kind of used to, right? The mix of shared drives, emails, random paper copies. It just creates so much confusion and, honestly, a ton of risk. But then you look at the Safely approach. It's totally different. One central library, everything is version controlled, you can always get to it, and it's audit ready right from the get-go. Okay, so let's get into how Safely actually becomes your single source of truth. The whole idea here is pretty simple, but it's powerful. We're going to replace all those scattered files with one reliable, central library for every single policy, SOP, and manual that you and your team depend on. And I mean everything. We're talking about your big, high-level policies, your detailed SOPs, all the way down to things like equipment manuals and compliance certificates. They all finally get one single, structured home where you can actually govern them properly. So, okay, having a central library is great, but how do you keep it from becoming another messy folder? I mean, a library is no good if nobody can find anything, right? That's why Safely lets you build a really structured, intuitive menu. Your teams can find exactly what they need in seconds, not waste time hunting for it. And you know what? Building it is super straightforward. Seriously, you just create a new document, give it a name, upload your PDF, then you get to design your menu, with main sections and little submenus to keep things tidy, and finally, you just assign each document to the right spot. It's honestly that simple to create a library that anyone can navigate. But look, just storing documents, that's only half the battle. The really crucial part is making sure everyone is using the right version of those documents. That's where Safely sign-off workflows come into play, and they are a game changer. They give you complete control over your standards. The whole process is so clean and, importantly, it's auditable. Here's how it works. When a document gets updated, you submit it for approval. Its status immediately changes to pending. Then the right person, the approver, gets a notification, they review the file, and they make a call. Either approve it or reject it. Simple as that. And this is where it gets really interesting. The feedback loop. See, if a document gets rejected, the approver can't just say no. They have to leave a comment. So it's not just a rejection, it's actual, clear, actionable feedback. This makes sure that the next version is on point and meets the standard. It just keeps everyone on the same page and gets rid of all that guesswork. All right, now let's talk about one of the most, transformative features. What if your documents weren't just these dead, static files? Because with Safely, they're not. Safely doesn't just store your docs. It uses AI to turn them into this living, breathing, interactive knowledge base. Okay, picture this. There's an urgent situation happening on the floor. The exact procedure you need is buried inside a document with a title that looks, something like this. You know the type. It's long, it's complicated, and your team absolutely does not have time to start flipping through pages and pages of text. So this is the exact problem every frontline worker runs into, right? They need a correct answer, and they need it now. But the old way, it means stopping everything you're doing to go hunt down and read some super dense document. It's just not practical. But with Document Q&A, they can just ask a question in plain English. The AI instantly scans the right, approved document and gives them a precise, accurate answer. It even tells them exactly which SOP it came from. This is what I mean when I say it transforms your static PDFs into actual, usable intelligence for your team. And this is really important. These documents don't just live off in their own little world. Safely is built to pull them right into the flow of your daily work. This makes your procedures visible and, more importantly, actionable, exactly when and where people need them. So for anyone who's a manager or an approver, this starts the second you log in, right on your dashboard. You get a nice, clear, simple notification that tells you exactly how many documents are waiting for you to review. No more digging around trying to figure out what needs your attention. And that little bit of visibility, it's absolutely critical. It makes sure the approval process just keeps chugging along, it gets rid of bottlenecks, and it means your standards are always kept up to date with no delays.
But the connection goes even deeper than that. Check this out. Safely's own Albert AI can actually take these approved documents and automatically create smart checklists and forms right from them. So your SOP doesn't just describe the work anymore. It becomes the source code for doing the work consistently every single time. So when you put all of this together, what's the big picture? What's the real impact? Well, it's about becoming a truly aligned and audit-ready organization. You're seamlessly connecting how you govern your work, how you actually do the work, and the evidence you need to prove it. And the results for your business? They're crystal clear. You're going to reduce your operational risk because everyone is finally working from the same playbook. You'll speed up audits like you wouldn't believe because all your control documents and your evidence are in one spot. You'll finally be able to drive real standardization across all your sites. And, maybe best of all, you'll empower your frontline teams to make faster, smarter decisions with those instant AI-powered answers. You know, it really all boils down to these three things. Centralize your documents so you have one single source of truth. Control your versions so you can protect your standards. And empower your team to get the answers they need instantly. That right there is the power of digital document management in SafeTree.